So I just told you a story about your parents, kids. Kids, it's your turn. Children of Adam, listen up. قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا. We have revealed, we have sent down clothes for you. You're covering my daughter, my sister, my mother. You know, you're covering my brother. This is something Allah sent down, like He sends water from the sky. He sent the Quran from the sky. He said, I sent clothes from the sky for you. قَدْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا يُوَارِي سَوْآتِكُمَا. It'll cover your shame. It'll cover you. I've sent it so you don't expose yourself, so you don't wear indecent clothing. You know how many times our conversation on campus becomes, are jeans haram? Do you have to wear jilbab? Do you have to wear, brothers, is it so wrong to wear tight jeans or this clothes or those clothes or exposing, or what's the definition of hijab? What's the definition of this? What does this faqih say? What does that sheikh say? What does this school of thought say? Leave all of that aside for a moment. Let Allah talk. Let Allah tell you, children of Adam, I sent you clothes so you can cover your shame. Just the love in these words. The love, the concern in these words. Forget the fatwas. Leave the fatwas aside. Just Allah is talking to you and me. With such, and even the way the kalam begins. It doesn't say, Ya ayyuhan nas, Ya bani Adam. Children of Adam. That problem, shaitan wanted them to remove their clothes. Guess what? He wants you to remove your clothes. And shaitan will come to you from every direction, remember? Where will he not come from? Above, and Allah says clothes came from above. Clothes came from, أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا يُوَارِي سَوْآتِكُمْ وَرِيشًا. And I've given you clothes to cover your shame, and I've given to you as rish. Rish literally means feathers. Rish, they say, you put them as decoration on your arrows. Okay? قَبْلَ الرَّمْيِ يُرَاشُ السَّهَمُ, the Arab says. Before you shoot, the arrow is decorated. To decorate. Allah says, I gave you clothes to look nice. I gave you clothes to look good. It's great, perfectly wonderful for you to have fashion statements. It's wonderful. Once the first agenda is met, what is that? Cover your shame. After that, dress nicely. Allah wants you to look nice. Like if there, inshallah, one day there's going to be like an Islamic fashion company, super halal, and its name's going to be Rish, inspired by what Allah says. Allah sent to you libas, that'll cover your garment, cover your shame. 2 minutes, oh my goodness. Warishan. Walibasu taqwa. And the clothing of taqwa. In other words, there's clothing made of cotton and, this material, and then there's a clothing of our personality. The garment, because garments are protection, right? And the protection of your character. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. That's better. Look, you can dress halal. You can dress appropriately, but still not have an appropriate character or mannerism. You can still be interacting with each other in an inappropriate way. So you not just have to wear the libas that is legitimate, you have to wear the libas of taqwa. That's better. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. That is from the miraculous signs of Allah, so that all of them hopefully may put an effort to remember. Listen to this, and I'll end you. There's so much more, but I'll 2 more ayat and I'll end, I promise. Ya bani Adam, children of Adam, لا يفتننكم الشيطان. Man, لا يفتننكم الشيطان. I keep mispronouncing it. Children of Adam, don't allow shaitan to attack you. كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة. Just like he got your parents expelled from Jannah. ينزع عنهما لباسهما. He pulled their clothes off of them. Don't let that happen to you. He did that to your parents. ينزع عنهما لباسهما ليريهما سوآتهما. So he can expose their shame to one another, their ugliness to one another. إنه يراكم هو وقبيله من حيث لا ترونهم. He sees you, he and his tribe, shaitan, from where you can't even see them. إنا جعلنا الشيطان أولياء للذين لا يؤمنون. We have made the shayateen, the devils, we've made them protective friends and guardians for people who don't believe. If you allow your clothing to become shameless, and that becomes acceptable to you, then you have become friends of shaitan. That's what you've become. And so finally, وَإِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً. Allah says, then whenever they do something shameless, Allah didn't talk about zina right now. Allah just talked about clothing. But Allah is telling us there's a logical conclusion. Once the clothes come off, then the only thing left is now acts of shamelessness. Once your standards of clothing are dropped, then your standards of behavior will drop until fahisha will become normal. It'll just be PG-13. It'll just be a little bit, some suggestive language. some suggestive scenes, parents mildly cautioned. That's what they're told, right? The ratings industry. He says, and I promise I'm ending with this ayah, I won't prolong it, inshallah. Whenever they do something shameless, they say, قَالُوا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهَا آبَاءَنَا. We found our ancestors committed to this. This is freedom of expression. This is what our ancestors gave us in the Constitution. That's how we do things. That's how we do weddings in our family. We've been doing weddings like this for generations. Who are you to come and tell us? So they say, we are shameless because that is our tradition. Allah says, what are you talking about? Your tradition began with Adam. What tradition are you talking about? What's wrong with you? What Abba? Your Ab wasn't like this. Your father's father wasn't like this. He crushed this idea of following ancestry because he started with the original ancestry, Adam alayhi salam. Wallahu amarana bihada qul inna Allah la ya'muru bil fahsha. Tell them, Allah, He does not command to shamelessness. The conversation switches from our clothing, a lack of regard for clothing, to a conversation about shamelessness and lewdness. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us against this environment of shamelessness. May Allah Azza wa Jal allow us to raise a generation of shameful, watchful, protective brothers and sisters, young men and young women, that will revive the sense of shame in humanity, because this is the one attack he started against humanity. Iblis's attack of shame is not just against Muslims, it's against all of humanity. Because once they lose their humanity, there's nothing else they'll learn. If'al ma tasha, the Prophet says. If you have no shame left, do whatever you want. So all the doors to all the evil will open once shame is gone. That's what he knows. He knows that. That's why he wants to attack this. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us the preservers of shame and the revivers of shame for all of the world. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.